Hi, I'm Dana Obleman. This video is for my free sleep course for babies 4 to 6 months right here on YouTube. If you feel like you could use more guidance, then check out Sleep Sense Plus. The link is in the description below. Good morning. Welcome back. I hope your night 2 was a little bit better than night 1. Celebrate every success. Let's talk a little bit about going into today's naps. Yesterday could have been pretty challenging. It's very fair to assume that most of you had a pretty icky first nap day. Well, the good news is that there's a good chance things go a little smoother today. There's also a chance they may not. Like I mentioned, naps are really the hardest piece of this puzzle, and they take realistically at least 2 weeks to come around. And for some babies, it's more like 4 weeks. So I just want to manage your expectations around that. I don't want you to start thinking that this isn't working, this is never going to work. It's a longer process. The good news is you're going to be sleeping much better through the night, so these won't feel so hard. But for now, it's kind of where we are. So let's talk timing a little bit. Like I mentioned, there's a guide in the book, but I just want to give you a quick snapshot if you just don't have the energy to dig through that book. If we're talking about a 4-month-old baby, 4-month-olds can only tolerate about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of time awake before they're going to need to sleep again. So you should plan your day around that. Let's be conservative and start with an hour and a half and then see how that goes. If the naps tend to be too short, that's a good sign that we need to add a little bit of time to this, but I think that's a great place to start, at least for today. So she's up at 7, she has her full feed. At the hour and a half mark, we're going to do our nap routine, put her down, do our stay in the room method for naps, and see what happens. Feeding after nap. Every time she wakes up from something, we're offering her a feed. If we're talking about a 5-month-old, they have a bit more stamina, so they could most likely go 2 to 2.5 hours, maybe 3. I have met some 5-month-olds who can go 3, but that's pretty rare. So let's start with the 2 to 2.5 hours time frame, and every 2.5, we're going to put baby down for nap. And again, we're going to feed after naps instead of before. If your baby has already started some solids, then just kind of place those in about an hour and a half after they've had a breast or bottle feed. For a 6-month-old, we'll be looking at about 2.5 to 3 hours of time awake. This is a tricky age because they are often on the cusp of switching from 3 naps to 2. So you might need a little assistance with kind of figuring that out, either from the call-in or from the email support. But for now, let's plan for 3 naps because there's a good likelihood that a 6-month-old still needs 3 naps a day. 4 and 5-month-old, yeah, absolutely 3 naps a day. Again, feeding after naps, giving solids in between, hour and a half after feeds. Now, typically, the last nap of the day is the hardest of the naps. And sometimes moms start to feel a little burnt out by then. I mean, again, this is a hard process, and if you're the only one doing it, you can start to have a little bit of a meltdown. So if you feel like you're just not coping well or you're about to lose it, then plan for the 3rd nap to be in the car or the stroller. That will get you out of the house, it'll get you some fresh air, baby will sleep for a bit, and you can then move forward with your bedtime. I don't want you to do that too often though, because again, the more he practices this in the crib, the better the naps are going to start to go. But for now, if this is what you need to do just to get through this, then absolutely do it. You could plan a couple of days in a row of doing that last nap in the car or the stroller to give yourself a bit of a break before you jump into bedtime. Keeping an eye on overtiredness. Now, some babies show their sleep cues really clearly and some don't. So I would way rather that you watch the clock for now than your baby. And let's just see how it goes if we're watching the clock. instead of our baby. Some signs of fatigue in this age group would be yawning, but that can happen, we can yawn anytime. So that's not the greatest one. More common would be that they start to get a little agitated, they start to do some rubbing. That's a clear indication that fatigue is setting in. They're rubbing their eyes, they're pulling on their ears, they're rubbing their nose. Anything to do with the face and rubbing is a good sign that we should be thinking about a nap sometime soon. All right, good luck today. Bye for now.